Través. Ya tengo los audífonos. Vamos a continuar. Ok. Bueno, les decía que vamos a ver un video donde vienen algunas frases.
So let's have a look at an example.
Frases para sobresalir, digamos, en una entrevista de trabajo grupal. Ahorita lo que voy a hacer es tomar algunas notas para poder hacer mi tarea de las 6. O sea, de las 9. A las 9 tengo una clase. Bueno, voy a dar una clase, pero yo también hago la tarea que le dejo a los alumnos. ¿Vale? Vamos a continuar.
Exercise at the group job interview situation, because it's very different to going to your interview in your suit and answering questions, question, answer, all just for you. In the group job interview situation, you have to do tasks and activities with other people in the group. And while that's happening, your interviewers watch you and they observe what you're doing. So depends what they're looking for. Sometimes they'll be looking for people who are leaders, people who are assertive, people who can put themselves forward in a group. And sometimes they'll be looking for people who are good team players, people who work well in a group with other people. And they'll also be looking for people who are confident, people who've got good people skills in general. So depending on the job and what they're looking for, they'll watch you interacting with other people in the group. An example exercise. I had this exercise at a group job interview that I once did, and although I can write all the things to say now and tell you about it because I'm a good teacher, this kind of interview situation is not my forte. It's not what I'm best at. And anyway, so the task was a story like, you've been shipwrecked on a desert island and you're not going to be rescued for 3 days. Here is a list of survival equipment, or a list of equipment, but actually there's more things on the list. You can pick 3 items from the list. Which ones do you choose? So in your group, you have to go into the role play and talk about the things from the list that you need to survive until you're rescued. So there might be reasons that you say, we need the matches because we want to make a fire. We need the lighter also because we want to make a fire, but you might have a reason why matches are better than the lighter. Somebody else might say, we need tinned meat because we have to eat something here while we're waiting to be rescued. And you can say, well, if we have the meat, we need to open the meat with the tin opener. Or you could say, well, we need a mobile phone so we can call our families or call the rescue services. So there isn't, in these group job interview situations, there isn't always a right answer. It's more about how do you interact with the other people in that situation. So of course you need something to say. You don't want to just be watching everyone talk and you're not saying anything. But also we have to deal with other people and display our ability to interact in those kind of group situations. So let's look at the first phrases. These are indirect suggestions. So when you want to give an idea, but you don't want to be like, hey, really forceful, this is what we're going to do. I'm the leader, I'm the boss of the group. This is what we're going to do. You can phrase what you're saying more gently and with more tact. So if you wanted to choose the matches, you could say, does anyone else think we should choose the matches? So I think we should choose the matches. Does anyone else think we should? If you agree, then it's a good idea. How about we choose the matches? What if we choose the matches? Yeah, I think the matches are a good idea. Let's choose the matches. Or we could say, what are your thoughts if we choose the matches? What are your thoughts if we choose the matches? Instead of saying directly, I want to choose the matches, we can use all of these example phrases to more gently give our opinion about the thing we want to choose. And when we say that, other people might start talking about it. Let's look now if we want to be more assertive. This is going to be the language chosen by people who are more natural in leadership kind of roles. People who want to be in charge of the project. Perhaps we'd see this in graduate recruitment. They'd be looking for, people who can just go in the situation. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm not going to eat the meat. That's why we can't choose. Responding to a bad idea. Have you been in that situation, working in a group where someone just starts talking for ages with a really stupid idea or they're not making sense? How do you respond to that in the group job interview situation? Well, there's the silence. Sometimes they stop talking, sometimes they don't. You could say, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. And then say what you're going to talk about. Of course, you can be more direct as well and say, no, that's really not going to work. Just depends how you want to appear in that job interview situation. Next is showing agreement. When someone has an idea, you really like it, here's what you can say. So let's say somebody said, the matches, we should take the matches and not the lighter, because when the lighter breaks, if the lighter breaks, that's it, it's finished. But matches, you've got plenty more matches to use. So it's more likely to mean we can have fire for longer. If you agree with that, you can say, that's a good idea. You can say, I wholeheartedly agree. Now that is a bit formal there. Depends on the situation, depends what kind of person you are, but it's a bit formal, and probably wouldn't say that at a graduate recruitment situation. Or you could say, I think you're right about that. Now let's look at including others. We've got to be very kind when we're working in a group, and we can't dominate and talk too much. Well, maybe we can, maybe we can't. Depends what they're looking for. So to show that you're a good team player, include others. So you've said something about the tin opener, or the can of meat. You've said something. You want to choose the can of meat. You've said the reason why, and then at the end you look around and you say, what does everyone else think? And you let them speak. Or if you're really good, if you're really good now, you'll have already remembered the random people's names in your group that you met 2 minutes ago, and you'll start to use their names because your people skills are so good. So then you can say, Tom, what's your opinion? What would you do? Or perhaps you want to be including everyone and to make the decision based on everybody's input in the group. You could say, let's take a vote. Or you say, let's take a show of hands. People put their hands up if they agree with an idea or not. And again, a similar one. Sarah, what would you suggest? Perhaps Sarah's being quiet, not saying anything. Because your people skills are so good, you include her. Sarah, what would you suggest? Okay, speeding things up. Sometimes in a group, You're talking, it's going nowhere, nothing's happening. Come on, we've only got 4 more minutes and we haven't finished talking about the matches yet. We've got 10 more things on this list. How are we ever going to make a decision? So you want to speed things up. You can say,
Ok, una vez que ya tenemos nuestras frases apuntadas, lo que vamos a hacer es elegir. Hay algunas series que usan mucho vocabulario de trabajo. Esto depende del sistema de streaming que tengan. Yo, por ejemplo, ahorita estoy usando Netflix y estoy viendo The Office. Como esta ya es la clase 5, pues voy a ver el capítulo 5. Pero son varias. Está The Office, está... Aquí está. Vamos a checar. Si no, siempre le pueden preguntar al buen chat GPT. No va a fallar. Ok. Está The Office, está Friends, está Parks and Recreation, How I Met Your Mother, Suits, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Good Wife, and Better Call Saul. ¿Sale? Entonces pueden escoger la que quieran de esas. Yo les digo, estoy viendo The Office. Ahorita eso ya no lo voy a transmitir. Van a ver The Office, por ejemplo, el capítulo 5. De las otras pueden ver el capítulo que ustedes quieran. Esto es para la clase que estoy dando ahorita. Van a ver el capítulo y estas frases que acabamos de apuntar las van a identificar quién las dice, dónde las dicen, cómo las dicen. Si quieren, pueden venir, obviamente este live se va a guardar, pueden venir y me comentan qué frases encontraron, en qué serie, y pues ya, podemos seguir trabajando nuestras clases para conseguir trabajo. Por ahora yo ya no puedo transmitir porque voy a estar viendo The Office, pero son las 6. No, pues ya nos veríamos mañana. Hoy ya no regreso. A menos que me ponga a preparar otro pedazo de otra clase, pero ya les platico. Tal vez regrese al rato, pero más seguro ya mañana. Como a la misma hora igual, como a las 6. Bye.